Who is a good person who turned out to be shockingly evil? Bill Cosby. He was untouchable, he was the silly uncle we all wanted. Turns out he was a monster. Jimmy Savile. The guy raised millions upon millions of pounds for charity. Some places listing it at £45 million, nearly $60 million, and set up a £5 million charity fund before he died. But it was all a facade to hide what he really was. To call him an evil piece of shit would be an insult to shit. Subway's Jared. Neil Gaiman. Jim Jones was a prominent figure in support of the civil rights movement. He contributed significantly to desegregation activism in Indiana. He also performed a lot of charity work, establishing soup kitchens and providing food and clothing to the poor. Rolf Harris. He went from Jake the Peg to just another sexual predator who assaults little girls. Dr. Phil deserves to have his license taken away. King Leopold of the Belgians. He presented himself as a humanitarian who was motivated by a desire to improve the lives of Africans. He was allowed to establish personal rule over what was then the Congo Free State. In reality, his regime caused the death of millions of Congolese inhabitants, including children. They were worked to death at gunpoint, systematically mutilated, murdered or starved to death. O.J. Simpson. Some might say Elon Musk, but I never liked that sob. David Eddings. An author I fell in love with in the 80s. I eagerly awaited sequels to his series. In his biography he was described as a college professor that struggled to make it as an author. And then years after his death it became known that he and his wife adopted 2 children they horribly abused and tortured, resulting in a prison sentence. I used to reread his books at least once a year, and now I can't help to feel nauseated whenever I see his books in my bookcase. Oprah. Not saying she was pure evil. But she platformed dudes like Dr. Phil and Dr. Oz whose careers have caused lots of harm. Edit. Someone mentioned John of God, who she also platformed. Can't forget him. Ian Watkins, who was the lead singer of the band Lost Prophets, absolute monster. Neil Gaiman. I'm so beyond disappointed and furious. I used to really look up to him. Oliver Cromwell pretty much set the modern template for revolutionary turned tyrant. Came from a humble background to overthrow an oppressive king and establish one of the first modern democracies. War hero. Champion of democracy, etc. Then made himself dictator and appointed his son heir. Followed up by banning Christmas and ethnically cleansing Ireland. Very weird character arc.